Hi children. Previously we have learned about Russian Revolution and the effects of Russian Revolution on the world. Now we will be learning about the economic depression of 1929 to 1939, almost for a time period of 10 years. Okay. So what is meant by economic depression? Depression means what? Generally sometimes we will be saying, alright, that boy is in depression, that girl is in depression, that person is in depression, I am in depression, you are in depression. So what is meant by this depression? Depression means a sort of loss, bad situation, which is not normal, which is going down, that we call as depression. So economic depression means financial problems, where, to whom, that is throughout the world. This economic depression is throughout the world. So during the year of 1929-1939, there was an economic depression throughout the world. Okay, throughout the world, there was an economic depression. See, actually, this economic depression started around the year of 1929 and lasted almost till 1939. After World War II started, almost. By the time the economic depression lasted, World War also started, almost. So now, the economy declined. Why this depression we call? Because the economy of a country has been declined. Not of one country, but almost all the countries in the world has declined. That means decreased. Economy of countries decreased. Okay, so economy of countries decreased. Because of these economic country has been decreased, what has been happened? Because of this worldwide depression. Okay, because of decline in the demand and fall in prices. What was the reason? Demand. Okay, decrease and fall in prices. This has been happened because of this, where many of the factories were closed. Okay, many factories were closed because of this economical crisis. Then purchasing capacity decreased. Purchasing capacity decreased because of decrease in the value of money. Okay, so these are the consequences of economic depression of 1929. It has been started in the year of 1929, lasted till 1939. And what has been happened actually here? So the economy of countries decreased, not of one country, across the world almost all the countries decreased. Demand has been decreased and the fall of prices because of that. Factories were closed, purchasing capacity of the people has been decreased, and decrease in the value of money has been also done. Because of all these factors, because of this economical crisis, all these factors have been happened, where the value of goods has been increased because there is no production cost. Okay, as the value has been of price has been decreased, the money value has decreased, and even the production to produce something also, it is very difficult. So very few things have been produced. Because of this thing, then the cost of products also has been increased. Then the value of currency has been also has fallen down. Like this, many problems, many have been unemployed. Okay, many people has been went unemployed. That means no work at all. And the situation was very horrible that people even unable to buy their basic needs and requirements. People started facing problems. Many of the factories have been shut down. Many of the people were unemployed and roaming on the roads. Like this, many, even the farmers, there were no proper crops. Even to have a crops and other things, they require some of the investment. Even for that also they need money, that too high money. Okay, the poor families as well as middle class families have been started struggling a lot because what they earn is very less and what they has to spend is more. And even the factories also have been, most of the factories shut down. The factories, one or two who are working, they started reducing the wages of the workers and started paying. So the people in completely in unorganized sector started facing lot of problems, and because of this economical depression, it has been created a type of havoc across the world. Only the people who are working in organized sector and only the rich people are able to manage up to some extent, not entirely, but up to some extent they were able to manage their needs, requirements and fulfill their day-to-day activities. So at this condition, actually what has been happened, what was the reason for this means? In the initial stage, there was a collapse of stock market. Okay, in US. Okay, at the initial stage there was a collapse of stock market in US, because of which very soon it has been affected about every country as well as all the nations of the world through this collapse of the stock market in US. So in America, as many as near about in US, near about 25% of the people went on unemployed, and nearly 33% of the people in many other countries. Okay, like that they went unemployed, and even the effect of economical crisis has been begun, and most of the countries, and even this has been reduced the prices up to 60%. 60% prices reduced. Okay, these are problems have been happened. Even the peasants have been stopped their cultivation. Then the worst economic decline faced by the modern economy till today, that type of situation they have been experienced at that time, during this time period of 1929 to 39, and the consequences of these were devastating. They were increasing poverty, unemployment, then desolation, homelessness, and many other problems they have been created. This economic depression has created in the world. At that particular time period, some of the economists and politicians, they have discussed and the causes for the decline of the value and the ways to recover the situation and to come out of the problems. At that particular time period, some of the people like Marxists as well as socialists or communists, these people said that the reason for this type of economical depression is capitalism. Okay, they felt capitalism is the responsible or reason for this type of decline or destruction of the economical crisis, or to have the economical crisis or the economical depression in the world. The reason was capitalism, they felt. And here we have some of the economists like J.M. Keynes. What's the name of a person? J.M. Keynes. Okay, he propagated, or he felt that the main reason for this is state, okay, or the government is responsible for this type of economical situations. Why he felt so? Why he is saying that a state or the government is responsible for this type of economical depressions or economical loss or economical problems? Because he felt that government need to take some precaution measures before this type of disaster happen. Government need to have some of the precautions, or government need to frame certain rules and regulations. Even if economical crisis hit the country, the loss should not be this much. Like that, he felt that there should be some of the schemes or the policies. Government need to frame such policies where it should not affect the living of a common people or the poor people because of this economical crisis. Because government need to invest, and government need to take responsibility of producing the products or supplying the products, or to supply food as well as even other required basic activities to the people during this type of crisis. And even government need to invest and provide employment for the people where they can earn and they can have a livelihood. And even the government need to take responsibility for producing goods and supplying that to the markets, and we are seeing to that the supply of the goods has been reaching to the people. Like this, different types of activities also need to be introduced by the government. It has been felt, and he has been claimed. Who? Mr. J.M. Keynes, an economist. He has been felt that, and he proclaimed his ideas or thoughts through these in this way. At that particular time period, Mr. Franklin Roosevelt, who became the president of US, announced the New Deal policy. What is this New Deal policy? According to this, he has been introduced some of the policies, like the first thing is unemployment insurance. Okay, then second thing is old age insurance, medical, okay, then food security, and along with this even education, okay, home for the homeless. Okay, like as we said, investments in industries, that means construction or the development of the industries. Like this, he has been introduced some of the policies which they generally called as social security, like universal retirement policy as well as unemployment funds. Different types of policies have been introduced by Mr. Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, the then president of USA, and he was able to build up to some of the extent he had been built up the economical position of his country. Even before this, Franklin had been introduced, or Roosevelt had been introduced these policies. Even Britain was earlier, they have been introduced like old age pensions or unemployment pensions earlier also. But after seeing the initiation or the new policies introduced by the USA, by Mr. Franklin Roosevelt, even the Britain has been introduced different types of policies, like taking responsibility of the homeless, like making them to have a home, taking care of the having a home or a place for them. Then second thing is their education. Then basic thing like providing unemployment funds, or paying some of the money, or providing work. If they fails to provide work to the people, then they will pay money as an unemployment compensation. Along with that, even the medical and entire education of a child. Like this, different types of schemes have been introduced by Britain as well as even USA also, and up to some extent they were able to come out of this economical depression. At the same time, in the year of 1939, when the war has been broke out, even like what you can say, war produced different types of things are required in war also. At that time, even the industrial production as well as more and more industries have been established, more and more equipments, more and more requirements to the war also have been produced. With this, where the people has been got employment, and slowly the economical depression has been recovered or covered by these particular nations by implementing different types of policies and schemes. Now we'll be learning about economical depression in Germany. So till now we have been learned about economical depression of the world. Now we'll learn about economical depression in Germany. Okay, why Germany had economical depression? What was the reason for the economical depression in Germany? See, Germany economy has faced a severe problem. First thing is war expenditure. Okay, and second thing is war indemnity, and the third one is loss of economical sources. Okay, so there are the different factors why Germany has been faced this type of economical crisis. The first thing is war expenditure. When they have been participated in the war, the expenditure which has been incurred because of the war, all that has been spent by Germany. That was one of the big problems. Second thing is war indemnity. As we have been learning in our previous topic, Treaty of Versailles has been made Germany to pay the war indemnity. That means the laws which have been created or because of the war, that money need to be paid by Germany. And the third one is loss of economical sources. That means here we have some of the sources where Germany used to get good amount of revenue that have been occupied or that have been captured by the Allied groups. That means the major economical sources have been captured by the Allied groups from the Germany, and losing of colonies. All these are the things which have been made Germany to face economical problems. Okay, even it has been said that people used to carry a cart full of money to bring a loaf of bread. Why it has been happened? See, when Germany was going under economical depression or economical problems, at that time, the government started printing currency without any limit. That means there is no limit. Generally, every country will be having a limit for printing of currency. The same way Germany also had. But when they faced economical crisis or economical problems, they started, the government, German government started printing currency without any limit or without any thinking. So because of these excess printing of the currency, the value of currency has been declined. Excess printing of currency, value declined. Okay, the value of currency has declined. Because of this decline in the currency or the value, people used to carry, as I said, money in carts to bring one loaf of bread. One loaf of bread means one packet of bread. To bring one packet of bread, people used to carry money in a cart, a bullock cart. Okay, full of money they used to carry, and they used to bring one loaf of bread. That is one packet of bread. So like that the situation was been happened because of this economical crisis. So along with this, many people have been lost their jobs. Okay, and peasants, no work at all, no farming at all, because it has been created a lot of damage and loss, as well as more and more money need to be required. So no job. And the youth, unemployed youth, mostly they used to sit in street corners by playing cards, or maybe standing in a queue in front of a employment exchange, because very few jobs used to be available at that particular time period. And others used to roam around the streets in search of the work. And even some people have been hold a placard in their necks, like ready to do any kind of work. Like these different types of activities, and most of the people went, some of the unemployed youth also went under like robbery and other criminal activities also, because of to earn money or to get money. Like this, different types of people has been went on different types of activities. Along with that, even the economical crisis created deep anxieties and fears in the people, because different types of illegal activities and criminal activities have been started, and the savings whatever has been kept by the middle class as well as the salaried employees, then the pensioners, that is not sufficient because of the diminishing of the value of currency. Only the people started getting losses. The small business people have been shut down their business because they are getting heavy loss, and even the big business also went into loss, and they were bankrupt, and most of them shut down their business. Most of them were unemployed. They ventured into different types of other business and other work. only the rich people and the higher societies people try to manage with their money, whatever they have, they manage to have a living. At that particular time period, during this particular time period, people were completely unhappy of the people. Why people were unhappy? Because unstable rule. Okay, so different categories, different people has been ruled Germany. Okay, different group of people with the different policies, but the rule was unstable and people were unhappy with the rule at that particular time period. And even the governments, the interim government, that means the newly formed governments after the First World War, they were completely unable to success in the rule to rule the people or to solve the problems of the people, to solve the problems. Okay, economical crisis, and also like unsatisfaction of people were not happy with the rule, as well as failed to have stable rule. So all these factors have been laid. Germany has been raised for a new system of ruling, or a new person or another person to rule the country. Moreover, from the sufferings, see, after the First World War, Treaty of Versailles has been made Germany completely humiliated. The humiliated policies which have been introduced in the Treaty of Versailles, that policies have been made Germany to strive again, to bounce back, to take revenge, and many other problems have been happened. Along with that, even the economical problems, then war and expenditure, war indemnity, then loss of sources. Okay, economical sources, that means through which they used to get money, that type of economical sources have been lost. Where they have been lost? It has been dragged by the Allied powers. It has been occupied. Then because of that, government started printing excess currency. Because of that, value declined. Then unemployment, people started roaming on the roads. Then crime has been increased, crime rate has been increased. And the interim governments, that means the governments which have been formed after the First World War, that governments failed to settle all these issues, like maybe economical crisis or employment problem, or maybe crops, or maybe the currency, or maybe to have to establish a proper stable rule to make the people comfort. All these factors, it have been made Germany to give rise to a new type of ruling, that is none other than the dictatorship. Okay, the dictatorship with the rise of Mr. Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler. Okay, Adolf Hitler is the person who has been emerged as a leader and established a stable rule and controlled Germany and led Germany into, and which made the other consequences for a new war. What is that and how it has been happened, we will be seeing in our upcoming topic, that is rise of fascism and Nazism. This rise of fascism and Nazism we will not learn in detail. Generally we will learn in short, just a brief sketch. You people just refer your page numbers in your textbook, page number 173, 174, 175. Okay, they are the pages. You just go through and refer. If you find any doubts or difficulties, then you can check with me along with the 176 and 177 also. These are the topics or the pages which have been discussed about how Hitler has been raised, from where Hitler has came out. Okay, how he has been raised to the power, what he has been, what all the things he has been did, how he did. Just I'll brief it. Just you people go through these page numbers. Not much, just a brief introduction I'll be giving you. Okay, moreover, no doubts you will get. If you get any doubts also further, you can check refer these pages and ask me doubts in the comment section. Next, we'll start with the rise of fascism and Nazism. In brief explanation, I'll complete that. That is the rise of Hitler. So actually we know that how Hitler has been rise to power and all this thing. Actually Hitler was in the army, German army. He has been fought with the different types of wars and many other participated in war. And actually Hitler felt very bad with the policies which have been introduced by the Treaty of Versailles. The humiliating treaty or the policies of these Treaty of Versailles have been made Hitler to get a feeling. And before that he felt that Germans are the superiors to the world. They need to rule the world. Like that he felt different types of opinions. With that, when he has been announced as a Chancellor of Germany by the then ruler, then immediately within 2 to 3 months he declared himself as the dictator of Germany. And immediately once he declared himself as the dictator of the Germany, he introduced Nazism. Okay, then he participated in the elections. He got the majority of the seats in the Reichstag. Reichstag means the German parliament is called as Reichstag. Okay, they got near about 37 seats at the first attempt itself, and they were able to win the majority of the seats. And moreover, all these things, this person, he has started a party called Nazi Party. And the people who follow this Nazi party or this Nazism, they are called as Nazis. So moreover, he encouraged the German Aryans. German Aryan means generally it is considered they are the natives of Germany. So Germans Aryans are the natives of the Germany, and this person, the people, he gave a call to all the German Aryans to participate in Nazism and to follow Nazism and to adopt Nazism as their basic policy of their livelihood. So with these policies, when he had introduced this type of policies, then the German Aryans started following it. At that time, he wanted to make others, like even we have been heard about different types of things. In Nazism, according to Nazism, women has given a special importance, like women need to give more and more children birth. The women who gives birth to one baby or two baby or more than 3 or 4, they used to be awarded with different types of medals by awarding with the different types of medals, gold, silver, bronze, different types of cross he used to give. And along with that, even he used to kill like others who are not non-Nazis, that means who are not Germans, like Jews and even other categories of people were brutally killed by Hitler by keeping them in the concentration camps or by sending them into gas chambers. Like this concentration camps, gas chambers, like that many ways they have been killed. And he completely introduced a policies called dictatorship. That means whatever he thinks, and he was a good orator. That means a person who can speak perfectly and influence others. As because of his good oratory, he has been influenced majority of the people, and a huge number of people has been got inspiration by his words and by his speeches. And he was a good orator, and he used to address n number of people, some thousands of people at a time, and used to, that people who are listening to him, who are paying attention towards his speeches, used to get attracted towards him and started following these Nazis. And even he made compulsory military training for everyone, young men or women, whoever it might be, they need to participate. The young boys or the women need to participate in the military training, and it has been made compulsory by this person. And he felt that these German Aryans are the superiors of the world, and others like Jews and other categories of people are inferiors to them, and they don't have any right to live in Germany. So most of the people has been left Germany and ran away to some other countries, and some of the people has been were caught and killed by Hitler. And even the mothers who gave birth to Jews or some others, the German Aryans, even they were also killed. And even he felt that the old people, as a crippled person who are not at all useful for the nation, even he killed that type of people also. Like that, he made a lot of things, and he embedded, he has been involved all categories of people in that. And slowly he has been emerged as a powerful ruler in Germany, and he again started occupying all the places like the economic centers, very good revenue centers of Germany, which has been occupied by France and some other allied groups. He has been reoccupied them. Again, he started reoccupying the places in Africa as well as even other continents also. And even he wanted to rebuild Germany, where only the German Aryans are the superiors and they rule the world. And he himself depicted as a dictator of the Germany, that means a ruler, whole and soul ruler of a Germany. And then he started different types of horrible programs like racial discrimination, racial supremacy, and many other policies also have been introduced by this particular person. And actually Hitler, so he had complete type of nationalism, even we can't call it as an aggressive nationalism. Beyond that, he had been injected into the people and made the people completely to follow him blindly. Even there are some categories of people who are the natives of Germany or the German Aryans who are not happy with the rule of Hitler and other policies. Actually, we can say Hitler was the person who was responsible for the breakout of the Second World War. See, in his different types of policies, he gave importance and priority only to the German Aryans as well as to the Germans, okay, particularly the natives of Germans. And he clearly declared that all the entire world need to be under the control of the Germany, and he wanted to be the supreme power of the world. He wanted to rule the world, entire world. So then he immediately started occupying different types of places with by forming different types of policies and principles. Here it has been given a statement that near about more than 60 lakh Jewish people has been considered as were killed by this person, and more than 2 lakh or near about 20 lakh gypsies, as well as more than 10 lakh Polish civilians, like that more than 70,000 Germans who were considered as mentally and physically crippled. These many people were killed by Hitler in the concentration camps, as well as by sending them into the gas chambers. Like this, he has been created a type of havoc in the world. Even majority of the people, even once during the time of his rule, even Mahatma Gandhi has been happened to write a letter to Hitler by describing different types of activities of Hitler and asking him to stop all these type of things and to be friendly with the nation and to maintain the peace. But he never paid attention to anyone or anything, but he went on doing the activities whichever he felt as a better one, and to occupy. His motto is only one thing: to occupy entire world, to rule the world. He wanted to be the supreme ruler of the world, because of which it has been lead to the immediate cause, or which lead the world nations into the war. So the immediate cause of the Second World War also one of the act of the Hitler which has been made. Actually, he has been asked the Poland to surrender Dezhing port and even the surrounding areas to him, whereas Poland not paid attention, or they denied to submit that ports to Hitler. At that particular time period, he attacked Poland, and which has been in result led to the Second World War and the entire destruction what have been happened during the Second World War. So he was the person responsible for that, and so of course even that's how he's not according to him, he may be right and he may be a perfect ruler to his people. He has been did many things about to his people, and there are many people who praises Hitler as a god or some other thing. But it has been created, when we check overall, it has been created major destruction to the world, and which has been led to the Second World War. The entire nation went into a Second World War and created a lot of destruction or problematic to the people. So here, if we discuss about Hitler, as from his childhood, he has been developed a type of policies towards the country, and he felt that Germans, as we said, aggressive nationalism during our First World War, we have been learned. That policy has been made him a lot to involve and to make the people like to think, to take revenge on the world. To take revenge on whom? On the world countries, like the Allied group, who have been won in the First World War and who made Germany to suffer. And he feels that Treaty of Versailles is the entire responsible for the suffering of the Germany and the unstable rule of Germany and economical crisis or economical depression in Germany. All these are created because of the Treaty of Versailles, what he feels accordingly. And he felt a type of what you can say, a type of opinion even in the people also, where people also supported him, and he made a huge army, and he himself made very stronger with the army and even other people. Even day by day, the support to him also had been increased because as I said, he's a good orator. So he convinced a lot of people, and he got huge support from the people also in his country, which led to the Second World War. So Second World War from the time period of 1939 to 1945, Second World War. Started in 1939 and ended in the year of 1945. So what are the consequences of this war, and how it has been happened? What were the results of this war? We'll learn in our upcoming topic.